Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, here to bring you that boom bap preface right here for you and yours. And let me get an applause for the one that lays down the laws. And she goes by the name of Jackie Lookman.
I love that sample.
Oh, that one right
that
there.
Sample. Yeah. Where is that? Where does that come from?
That is.
Tell me all about that sample. Because
Well,
I've always loved that joint.
It was redone by the Rock Boys, Jay-Z, and yeah. I don't know where the original sample comes from. I had to do some digging real quick.
You got to do some digging. You got to.
Because it's somebody's horn. It's somebody's horn that's real good.
Yeah, somebody in the chat probably knows. I want to know where that sample comes from, and I want to know all the backstory on how they found the sample and the original song and the artists and their story, because that sample is iconic, right? It is. Who used it and what they used it in has made the sample iconic. So I really love finding out where these things come from, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, real quick. Author Andy Handy said original sample was a song by Rudy Love. I don't remember the name of the song.
Nice.
Okay. That's a start. That's how we work. We work it out. You know what I mean? Keep it going, y'all. Keep the research going. That's what I tell them. That's why I'm like, yo, don't believe me when I say stuff. You go do the research. Help us out. Shit.
I appreciate that, but you do have a wealth of knowledge, and you do bring information about these artists and this music forward that a lot of people might not, because I am not one of those I need to know everything about the artist that I like. I've never been that kind of person. Okay. I know a lot of people are like that. I'm just not. So I learn about all of this, personal stuff and the beefs and way after it happens, because I'm literally not paying any attention to anything other than, do I like this joint or do I not? That's it.
Josh Ingram, who you'll see tomorrow on the Remix Morning Show. Also, the song samples "Make the Road by Walking" by the Manhattan Street Band.
That is not Manhattan.
It sure ain't. Menin Street Band.
I'm thinking it's Minahan, but okay, that's close.
Let's go with Minahan. Let me drink some more of this coffee, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna start with me this morning.
No, but last night I was thinking of you. Last night, Ear Doctor. Did nobody take that any kind of way?
Whoa, it's all good. Listen, I come in people's dreams like Freddy Krueger. Go ahead.
So last night I finally watched the Questlove documentary on Sly and the Family Stone called Sly Lives.
Okay.
And Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and Questlove and what's his not Questlove, Q-Tip. Who I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna try to be nice. Okay. But
if it ain't about music, don't say it.
Okay, I won't say.
All right.
Because it was like, oh
man.
But Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and Q-Tip talked about the songs from Sly and the Family Stone that they sampled clips from, and they really went into detail about the way the samples that they used um, were the clips were the bars of music were so innovative for that time. Nobody else was doing the kind of stuff that Sly was doing with basic instruments and equipment, like the earliest drum machine that ever
Mm.
existed, that
Mhm.
was not sophisticated, but he somehow managed to create these complex, very deep and iconic clips that were sampled and made into something even more iconic, even as he was going through all of his struggles. So that creative genius, that genius that Sly Stone had, um, was so amazing. But watching that documentary was also like kind of shocking to hear that he suffered from self-esteem and anxiety,
Mm.
and that is what led to a lot of his addiction problems. And I just find the whole musician, artist, trailblazing, kind of tragic genius story really incredible, when the material that these people created are still such huge parts of our lives, even today. Because, like, Rhythm Nation doesn't exist without Sly and the Family Stone.
So what I'm hearing is when you thought about musical genius, you thought about me. That's really all I heard the whole time you was talking. But
Oh,
let's bring
Lord.
up Kabalki
I,
Franklin.
I try so hard.
What I heard was misunderstood genius, and I thought of me. I was like, wow, she's talking. I came in at the perfect time. So I felt like that was. Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Jackie.
it.
Yes, I feel like
Whoa.
people don't give.
Don't
It's
be a
hard
prop
to.
snatcher. Don't be a prop snatcher. She's giving it
No,
up.
I mean, I feel like it was obviously geared towards. There's a correlation. Music, me, genius, me, misunderstood me. You know.
This is why I'm never dating again. This is why I'm just.
We
This
make
is
it all
why
about us. No,
Mhm.
you
nine,
know,
nine, 9 years of this that was enough. That was
Oof.
that
be-
Yeah,
was
I feel bad for
because
you.
we have to filter out what y'all say sometimes, and that's
Yeah,
just what it is. Y'all,
yeah,
because y'all can go. I mean, because
yeah,
because
yeah.
sometimes we used to like a linear line of explaining stuff, and then y'all circular it out. You know what I'm saying?
You
Mhm.
Like,
meant linear. You said
yeah,
linear? Linear.
linear. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well, at least you didn't say, "Look, I'm sorry, babe. I just really like the sound of your voice. Sometimes I'm just,
It's
it's like
soothing.
this." That's a real
Wait a
cute
minute,
way
that's a
to
bad
tell me.
line? Is that a
That's
terrible line?
that's a terrible line, because that was a real cute way for him to tell me I won't listen to a damn thing you said. I I don't know
Oh.
what you said.
Oh,
I
like I
won't
didn't hear what you said.
answer
I
to
was
you.
just so busy listening to the sound of your voice.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
It's so alluring.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
get
I thought that was a
captivated
good
and caught
yeah.
up in the
I'm gonna have
tones.
to cross that
After
one out of my book. I
3 years,
thought
ain't
that was a
nothing
good one.
alluring. I told you to go and go get the damn oil change. That's what I said.
Somehow it's no longer that acute in the door anymore. They're like, "Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. I'm out."
Anyway, I what is have you seen the documentary Ear Doctor and Kamau? What do you think about it? What do you think about,
Which
Sly's
documentary? I missed that
story?
part.
Sly Lives. Uh
Oh, I didn't see it.
yeah, the Questlove documentary about Sly and the Family Stone.
I didn't see it yet.
I do
It
believe Sly is underrated. He's one of those, like, I think you were naming some of the art, like Prince. Like I think there's a whole bunch of artists who, like, particularly like the rock, funk, era that he doesn't necessarily get the credit he deserves for. And he was eclectic, right? He wasn't just he dabbled, he experimented, he did a whole bunch of different styles of music. Yeah, y'all
mhm.
should do a Sly Stone.
We actually did.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the sound of your voice.
Class.
It's soothing.
You must have been listening to Kim. You
The
say that
one
for
time,
Kim.
the one time anybody listens to me, it's still.
You know, I always tell my daughter, I was like, listen, if you want a man to listen to you, you gotta get to the point.
Oh, damn, no.
What the hell?
Oh, you are bringing out the sexism today, Mike.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ!
God.
What the?
You gotta get to the point.
Sexism, yeah. Come on, come out.
No. I mean, I would never say it like that.
Ah, see, you sugarcoat shit. I get straight to the point.
This is
I don't have time to sugarcoat shit with my daughter. No.
worse. I am so.
So women aren't the only non-linear thinkers.
I didn't say
He
that.
doesn't even know what not. He doesn't even know what linear thinking means.
It's thinking on the line.
I know a lot of dudes.
I didn't know y'all was gonna be matching today. That's cute.
It is cute. Oh my
It is.
God. Oh.
It is.
Whoa.
Hey, put your rub it
Slow
down.
down.
You could do that too.
Oh,
I learned that.
I like a little.
I do prefer the heart. I do.
The heart, not the squeeze. Okay.
No, because I can't do that because people think
Not
I'm
for
doing
you. I
something
meant
else.
I'm talking about what I.
Okay,
Yeah.
I cannot do that. People think people think it's an
If you love
invitation.
hip hop, if you love hip hop,
No, we don't do that part of the song.
happens every day.
Anyway, young ladies, if you want to be in a relationship with a male person who you can have a conversation with, please make sure he reads.
Oh man, there we go.
Oh, did you take that personally? Wait a minute, did you take that personally?
This is a whole show yesterday about reading, and I tell you, boy,
that reading is fundamental.
It was off the rails. Everybody in the comments was going off. We had a debate. It was so yesterday.
You had a debate about read. Were you on the other side of like not advocating for reading?
No. I was not on the other side of not reading. I was just saying that we need to make it so if we're trying to teach people, we can't always just put it in books. We got to make it in media fashion. Also, we got to put it on social media because people ain't reading like they used to.
Mm-hmm. But that's not what he said at first. He eventually got to cleaning it up so it sounded a little bit. But you know how we do. We have to make it entertaining for the people. Because
why are you bringing up old shit, Jackie?
Because I'm petty like that. I'm petty like that. It's 2026. It is the last season of the American Empire, and I am letting go of all of the petty that I have been holding on to like a mature adult for all this time. Everybody can get some this year. I'm just
true. I feel like I'm opening back up to that. Everybody can catch it again. Everybody can catch it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I'm trying not to, but it seems like 2026 will be the year, and my theme will be everybody can catch it, one way or another.
Yep, you can get it. 2026, you can get it too.
Yeah. I'm trying so hard, but
I'm not.
Yeah.
For real though, I'm not. I don't know what it is. There's some weird. I was in this is weird, but yeah, I think I'm too tired and too frustrated and too anxious to be like, oh, I have to work really hard to be decent. And no, I don't. Not anymore. Nope.
Well, I feel like I would think you have some particularly like the position with working with the organizers and young organizers. Some of that can be,
No comment.
Off and speaking of non-linear thinkers, it's like oh my God, what are you talking? Like, why are we there? What happened to this? What happened to this work? Why are we over here? We're constantly over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I put some vodka in this just now. I need.
Oh, that I that might be a good way to go for the rest of this.
A little vodka in the morning?
Well, yeah, a little bit of spirits in the coffee. I think the Irish have I think they got it right. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you a day drinker, here, Doc?
Only during brunch.
Brunch?
Yeah, I'll have
Mm.
a
You're on my
samosa.
bougie stage. I didn't know what that was until I started hanging out with some bougie folks.
Exactly. Me
And then
neither.
it was like they would take me to brunch, and I was like, oh, and like in New York, like the sidewalk cafes, and people started ordering mimosas. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And people drink this early, it's like 11 o'clock.
I know. And you be
You on
getting
your
nice
third?
too. Them shits be hitting you quick. You be like, wait a minute. All right. You start talking a little louder. I see why the brunches in Atlanta be off the hook. Then you got a DJ in the bar.
And the next thing you know, the
It's a
electric
party.
slide is
It's a party. Yeah, yeah.
good.
Nah, I don't drink.
Oh, so are you a mimosa guy? Not samosa. I didn't say nothing, but mimosa.
I didn't say samosa. I said mimosa. Did I say
I
No,
said
samosa?
I said
Oh,
samosa.
oh, he said. Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't.
I love samosas too.
I'm
I do.
hungry.
I,
I love samosas. They're great with the little dipping sauce. Oh,
They get
but
you
yeah.
fucked up. They can get you fucked up too. Well,
Yeah,
those
but
can
the
get you.
mimosas though,
Woo.
yeah.
mimosas with samosas. I'm for it.
That's
I am
it.
for it.
That's
That's the
it.
brunch.
Ooh, I like that. Mimosas and samosas.
Mm.
Ooh-wee.
All right, I like it. So Kim is not going to make it today. Something came up, and also
Oh
it
no.
looks like we won't be doing classical breakdown a little bit later today. So she had to go handle some
Oh
biz.
no.
Hey.
I know. So we're gonna have to say that one for next week. I guess I'll wind up doing some type of mix or something.
Mm.
I still got the energy.
Who are you going to do today again?
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Oh, that's right. Oh
Yeah.
Ah.
man.
Yeah, so that's what I thought you was talking about, Jackie, earlier when you mentioned Jimmy Jam and Terry
Oh.
Lewis. Besides my musical genius.
Oh.
Yeah. So well,
Oh, wait a minute. Give me a second, y'all. I need to check in on the BLM remix run sheet that I'm here today.
okay, so I'll do a
Oh.
break.
This is
you
so
know.
cool. No, I'm gonna bring. Can I bring this on screen or no? I shouldn't
No,
show.
no,
Oh.
no.
No,
It's
don't
like
tell the people how we do stuff. What
Yeah,
kind of organizer are you? You are the very kind of organizer that'll get us targeted by the state. Doggone it.
I like
Go
this.
and do a break before Kamal gets us in
It's like
trouble.
one of those things you got to clock in. It's
Just
like we got
stop
to
it.
clock in shit now.
God.
Like I love this.
wait a
Okay.
minute, I'm blurry and y'all ain't say nothing.
And no one noticed.
I wasn't sure if that was me.
Yeah. I thought you had so much samosas that you just was like,
Wow. I tell
Hey,
you,
my
boy,
eyesight
when
is
they got your
yes.
back, boy, I tell you.
I'm sorry. I can't trust my own organs these days when I wake up. I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna take a quick 3-minute break while y'all tell them that they should like and subscribe and try to get my screen right. Thank you.
true that.
Mm-hmm.
Make that happen. Oh, I thought he was. Oh, he's taking a break for himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to fix
Oh, okay.
his
I get to fix his blurriness. Got you.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
is the Remix Morning Show. Thank you. We have already over 170 people watching. And my man Ear Doc was right. Like, subscribe. Why don't y'all give a little early morning Thursday donation? We won't be back until next week, Tuesday. This crew won't be back until next week, Tuesday. Show some of that love for Black Liberation Media. You know what I mean? So I can go get me some, mimosas and samosas and all that kind of stuff. Just joking. It won't go to me. But yeah. That's a little dip and dive. But at least when the news coming, you hear that analysis. Jackie's going to be bringing the heat. Like, let's give a little support here for us. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. Should we just start with the news since he's off or whatever? You want to just do?
I guess so. So pretend like we have tossed the satellite around the earth. And the little fists all over. And then there you go. Okay, now there's the news.
There we go. Do you have anything you want to start off with or?
Yeah, Kamal, I have a legal question. I have a law question.
Uh-oh.
Because where is this thing? Ain't this supposed to be illegal? Isn't this supposed to be illegal? Doggone it. Where is the thing that I'm supposed to? There it is. Okay. Huffington Post and everywhere else is reporting immigration officers assert sweeping power to enter homes without a judge's warrant. A memo, an internal memo that has been leaked, An internal memo of ICE has been leaked to the Associated Press saying this. Federal immigration officers, oh, hold on. Okay, good. It's big enough. Federal immigration officers are asserting sweeping power to forcibly enter people's homes without a judge's warrant, according to an internal Immigration and Customs Enforcement memo obtained by the Associated Press, marking a sharp reversal of long-standing guidance meant to respect constitutional limits on government searches. The memo authorizes ICE officers to use force to enter a residence based solely on a more narrow administrative warrant to arrest someone with a final order of removal, a move that advocates say collides with Fourth Amendment protections and upends years of advice given to immigrant communities. The shift comes as the Trump administration dramatically expands immigration arrests, blah, blah, blah. We don't know all that. For years, immigration advocates, legal aid groups, and local governments have urged people not to open their doors to immigration agents unless they are shown a warrant signed by a judge. That guidance is rooted in Supreme Court rulings that generally prohibit law enforcement from entering a home without judicial approval. The ICE directive directly undercuts that advice at a time when arrests are accelerating under the administration's immigration crackdown. The memo itself has not been widely shared within the agency, according to a whistleblower complaint, but its contents have been used to train new ICE officers who are being deployed into cities and towns to implement the president's immigration crackdown. New ICE hires and those still in training are being told to follow the memo's guidance instead of written training materials that actually contradict the memo, according to whistleblower disclosure. They say it's unclear how broadly the directive has been applied in the immigration. Oh, that's a lie. We see how.
All day, all day, every
Like,
day we get a
come on now. I don't think I need to read any more of this thing. Okay. Here are my questions. Because good God, I have so many. I, if the law is a thing, if the Constitution is
Is
a
there
thing,
law?
right? If it's a thing, how does this get done? How if if the constitutional guidance is that people inside their homes have the legal right not to open their door to law enforcement if law enforcement does not present a signed legal judicial order that allows them to come into that home, if that is allegedly the Constitution, what how does an internal memo written by the current head of whatever, because we don't even know
Who
who,
wrote it? The legal department, the
that
head of
that
ICE.
that is
Trump put it
not
down on paper.
right, that is only shown to the new folks, does not seem to officially replace existing policy that reflects the alleged constitutional protection. Explain how all this legal.
No, I love how you stated it. It's like the alleged Constitution, which allegedly gives you rights, which you obviously no allegedly in front of this one, which you obviously don't have. So yeah, so supposedly you do need a warrant, law enforcement, whether federal, state, county, or local law enforcement to enter your home, except under a few exceptions, which have been spelled out in Supreme Court cases, which may allow you to enter without a warrant, like exigent circumstances. Someone is screaming, "He's murdering me." That may give you, if a suspect runs into a private residence, you don't have to stop at the door. Those few exigent circumstances. But other than that, you are supposed to have a warrant. But if the person does not invite you in, a warrant to enter the house of somebody, right? And you can't claim that, oh, I'm entering because an illegal immigrant lives here. Like in terms of like the homeowner has the rights to let you in or not let you in, depending on you having a warrant. Obviously, there are times where there is no knock warrants, but those are also signed by a judge, right? And it's a whole nother discussion to talk about how easily cops get warrants in the first place, right? Judges usually do whatever the police want in terms of providing them with search and or arrest warrants, but that's another discussion. But at the very least, they are supposed to have the warrant to enter a home, just like they're supposed to be able to have probable cause of somehow to get your permission to open up the trunk of your car if it's locked, kind of thing, right? So there's these things that are obviously whatever people think their rights are, that are slowly being slowly being taken away or slipping back into sort of a way in which people are justifying, the law enforcement is justifying their actions. And again, unless somebody sues, a lot of times this will go on for years, right? And then we just had the Supreme Court, remember, a few, I guess now 4 or 5 months ago, clearly decide that reasonable suspicion, the ability to stop and ask for ICE agents, the ability to stop and ask somebody who they are, can be based on race, right? That was the exception that they carved out. That based on your appearance, they can ask you whether or not you're a citizen or not, right? So you could be, you could, so that you, it's, I said, it's like, there's affirmative action for like pulling people out and separating them based on race, and that's the only affirmative action that's left, right? So you could be targeted by ICE agents. But yeah, this has no there's no judicial and or legal right that the police have to do this. The ICE agents have to do this. This is all about, again, the so-called creeping fascism, and or all about making the rules as they go, knowing that most people may not go as far as to sue. I think we just had a case, like I think this was all like in some of the major newspapers, where in Minneapolis, a resident who is, I think, believe Vietnamese or no, Laotian, I think, or Hung, was pulled out of his home in his underwear by
Oh,
ICE
the older
agents.
gentleman.
Yeah, and he turned
Yeah,
out
the
he was a
older
U.S.
man. Yeah, and he was
citizen.
clearly not
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and he was a U.S. citizen, it turns out, but they took him, put him in a car, rode him. I'm not saying it's an excuse for not, but if in terms of the protections that you're supposed to have, took him in a car, rode him around for an hour, and then just dropped him back, right? So these kind of incidents are happening more and more and more, in terms of, again, the use of just brute force to take people, to arrest them, to detain them, to beat them up. And ICE is becoming basically a national police force to act at the whim of Donald Trump. They're arresting so-called U.S. citizens as well as other people. So they have the guns, the badges, and all the other equipment to prove it. And so they don't care about a court's judicial order.
Yep, and just to be clear, this memo is not new. This memo was issued in May of last year. This memo was so they came out the gate. This was the intention all along. This was not this that what people are seeing is not the result of lack of training. Let me show you. Let me pull this back up again really quick, because I want to show you this. Huffington Post did a very interesting thing here on the side that I want to show you, where they talk about what's going on in Minnesota, and they do it. They do this bullet point thing, the recent events, and they have this other timeline here too. But for the recent events, they're talking about the kind of the highlights or the lowlights, as it were, of the things that are going on in Minnesota. They talk about the labor unions organizing a strategic economic boycott against ICE, mobilizing multi-sector workers to pressure federal immigration enforcement, highlighting the intersection of labor rights and immigrant protections, and that's great, that's fantastic. The Trump administration intensified welfare fraud enforcement in Minnesota by deploying militarized federal law enforcement targeting Somali communities. Oh, by the way, did y'all know that there is a major welfare fraud trial going on right now in Mississippi? Think about that for a minute, and think about a certain football player who, yeah, Is anybody in the Trump administration focusing on the fraud that would happen in Mississippi? carried out by Brett Favre and his white conservative friends? Hell no. But they're doing this in Minnesota. Okay. So then they say federal agents used aggressive tactics, including deploying chemical agents and physical restraint. We've seen that. And the last bullet point right here is what I want to show you. In the face of all of that brutality, immorality, illegality, violence, the violation of people's human rights and dignity, kidnapping children, shooting women in the face, shooting people in the back. ICE has killed what, 5 people since December?
Mm-hmm.
Or December or November, 32 people last year. In the face of all of that, and now they're breaking into people's homes and dragging people out. And in response to all of that, what is Congress doing? Congress passed a DHS appropriations bill mandating ICE and Customs and Border Patrol body-worn cameras and de-escalation training to increase transparency, though critics argue it insufficiently addresses systemic issues in immigration enforcement. And when I say Congress, I mean Democrats. I mean, because we understand that this is what Republicans would do, and they don't even want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even want the body worn cameras and the body worn cameras and the de-escalation training that came from Democrats. That's their response to this.
Like, guys, what we have to do? We really have to hit them hard. Let's get them some more training here, and some body cameras so we can actually see what everybody else is filming anyway, as they attack people, beat people. We'll at least have this footage here. Yeah. And let's contract this company that actually works in my district. They can make millions of body cameras for the police. So now there'll be some contracts and some people who will be employed from this. Good going, guys. Good going. This is, I mean, where have you gone, Congress? There is no Congress anymore. That's the best part of the laughter, too. It's like there is no Congress anymore. I don't remember the last time Congress passed anything. It's like we have an imperial presidency. And again, not that we haven't always had a version of it, but now it's again on steroids. There is no Congress. The Republicans, which control both houses, are not moving anything. So basically by fiat, the current president, Trump, gets to do whatever he wants to do and do things like this non-judicial warrant seizure through his agencies. And is Congress passing any laws saying that no, that's not the case? How long will it be before any court hears this? And there's going to be 15 stays before it reaches the Supreme Court. So it'll be the law of the land for at least 6, 8, 10 months before they even make a decision. Even if they make a decision afterwards, after several dozen more people have been killed, after homes have been broken into, after people have been intimidated, even if they make a decision like in a year and a half from now, then they'll pat themselves on the back for the decision. So much damage and destruction will be done. So say goodbye to Congress, goodbye to the courts. You have an imperial presidency. You live in a dictatorship that you think that you didn't live in, but you already did live in. But, it's even more clear than ever.
I don't even know. I don't think I know what to say anymore. Sometimes I really sometimes I get up in the morning and I have this nice retired, because technically, that's what I have this nice retired ritual that I think most retired people have. We get up, we lay in bed, we're like, oh, thank God. And sometimes it's like, oh shit. I would have been cool if last night would have been the last night. would have been all right. But okay. All right. Okay. So, we get up slowly because you never know if you turned wrong in your sleep. So you get up slowly to anticipate any aches and pains that you didn't have when you went to bed. And you sit there on the edge of the bed, you move very slowly, you make sure you let your blood, get going, because it takes a while because the blood has to warm up, and then you slowly move to the bathroom, and eventually you make your way down to the kitchen and make your coffee. You turn on your radio and your television in the kitchen, and you start hearing the news. And you may open your laptop or your phone and you start reading the news and you're sitting there with your coffee and you're like, it's okay if I don't ever go outside again.
True.
That's okay. Outside is very dangerous. It looks really bad. It looks very frightening. I'm not going out there anymore. Thank God for Instacart. And then some days it's like, by the time I get to the coffee machine and the coffee is brewing and it's smelling good and I'm waking up and I'm reading the first news stories and I'm like, you know what? I give up already. I give up. I give up today. I give up today. I'm taking my coffee, I'm going right back to bed because this is too much for me.
Let the young people deal with it.
Yeah.
I've done my work.
we go. I'm gonna have to let the millennials deal with this because what the fuck? I don't know.
That's
And then I feel bad because it's like I can't do that because we kind of did this shit.
This is what we left. This is what we're leaving.
Okay, so So then you got to eat a hearty, protein-filled breakfast.
And get up and get it going. Speaking of getting it going, let's see what happens with the ear doc.
I'm still blurry.
You're worse. Yeah. It's worse now. What's happening?
You can still do a break though. No one cares.
This internet ain't letting me live.
We can hear you clearly though. More importantly.
That's great.
And it's kind of like, you know what it is? It's kind of like in and out. It is like you're drunk, right? It's kind of like when you like, sometimes it comes clear and then all of a sudden it's a little blurry, then it's clear, blurry,
Yeah, that's why I didn't say anything at first because I thought that I had too much nightcap last night, and
It got to rev up like a car or something. Let me give y'all a quick break so y'all can get the next story together. Let's do it right here on the Remix Morning. Which one is it? Oh, it's this one.
Oh my God.
Remix Morning Show.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
That's somebody else sitting next to you. Can't walk around like I was your fool. 'Cause being who I am, I can't lose my cool. My friend keep telling me about things going on, but deep in my heart, baby, I hope that I'm wrong. Yeah, somebody sleeping in my bed.
All right. Let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to 1996 with the group Drew Hill off that album Drew Hill. The name of that song is In My Bed. Mixed with a little bit of 1998. We talk about Sha-La-La with my man Buccaneer off that rhythm Black Widow. All right, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare, donate where at blkliberationmedia.org. Show your love. Go over there and copy some merch while you over there. And that's how we keep this thing going. So hit that like button, subscribe, and go to our Facebook and Instagram. We trying to get them numbers up over there too. Just go and rock out with us. Push the button and say we rocking with y'all. Help us build. All right, with that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah.
That was nice.
Nice.
That was very nice.
Thank you. Am I still blurry?
A little less, but I don't know what it is. I don't know. Yeah, it's
the internet weird. Won't help me be great over here. That's all it is. They be hating.
Is it the internet?
It's what?
You know what it is.
What is it?
Your
It's,
glasses.
it's that it probably is my glasses, but
Not your glasses, his glasses.
it's that Maori dude who is down in Atlanta, learning all about Black culture. I'm serious. If you there is a Maori guy who is doing these reels, and he is actually kind of touring the U.S. South, and he's in Atlanta, and he's
Ah,
yeah he's had
Wait, who
he's
is he? Who is this
I
dude?
cannot remember his name.
Yeah.
He's
But
a
he's touring
turkey.
Black culture.
Yeah, he is. He's a thick Maori brother who he better get out of Atlanta. He better get farther away from me. Farther away. That
mm, mm,
I
mm.
don't need you within a plane ride of me. Don't go.
Well, well. Like I said, we were supposed to be doing the classical breakdown a little later. We're not going to be able to do that, so I guess I'll take that slot and
Oh,
do a little break, a lunch break, beats and blends. I'm gonna
Mm,
start doing
you
that
did that real
live at a
fast. That was good.
yeah,
nice.
I'm start doing a live one at a coffee house here in Atlanta on
Okay,
Fridays.
very nice.
Every
So
Friday at what time are you doing a coffee house then? Tell us.
11 to 2. So
Where
come
at?
on.
What's the coffee? Give
It's the
that
coffee.
address,
It's
son. Come on, nigga.
Grant. It's the Grant Grant Park Coffee House.
I know them.
That's my people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
That's
know
a
them
nice
for real.
establishment too.
Yeah,
Huh?
we're gonna be doing. You're gonna be doing Ethiopian coffee traditional thing stuff because
Ooh,
she's sisters from Ethiopia.
Oh,
ooh,
okay.
Yeah,
man.
Okay.
good people. We went to
Ethiopian.
Morris Brown together.
Ooh,
See,
Oh.
we Morris Brown, we learned how to be entrepreneurs and stuff like that. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Yeah,
mm,
you learn how to go get your money.
mm.
All right, fix your
I'm gonna leave.
faces.
I'm
On
gonna
that
leave.
note,
I'm. A,
on
I'm.
that
I'm
note,
not gonna do
on
it.
that note,
I am for once in my life. I'm not gonna do it. Yes.
he said we learn how to get that money at Morris Grant. Not you don't learn how to get accreditation at Morris Grant. That's something they've been suffering from for years. But
See,
you know what I'm saying?
I was
I mean,
trying to be
you got to
nice.
pay back them loans. You know what I'm saying? And you got a degree that you can't use. So of course you got to get the hustle
I can't.
on.
I can't. I can't talk, and I don't like to criticize people's colleges and universities. As far as academic credit, because I ain't graduate from nobody's nowhere. It's so funny. I had my some people I trust and I know are very very serious about writing and history and accuracy, do a book workshop for my book, and we got together. They read it, they gave me their comments and everything, and it was really fantastic, and it was very affirming because I'm very very nervous. I'm very very
Oh,
nervous. I'm very nervous about this thing. First of all, I didn't think I could do it, but
wait a
but
minute. Let me stop you. How far are you in this process? Have you actually written it and oh my God, congratulations.
it's at the publisher. I'm waiting for the
That is
first edit.
exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Every day I wake up. Yeah, every day I wake up, that is like, because yeah, it's a whole bunch of trauma response
Yay.
kind of
No, no,
like,
no. Stop with the
yeah,
trauma.
yeah,
About how
everything is,
long? How
it's gonna
long
it's
can
gonna
we
fall apart. It's gonna be a disaster. It's
stop?
gonna be, yeah, that's
Stop.
that's what's
How
going on.
long before is it a 2026 coming out or 2020?
Yes,
Oh, this
spring of
is
this
so
year.
what how are you not sharing this?
Because I'm nervous about it, because I'm very nervous about it, and I'm very my this is look, this is people people don't understand. I am a ball of anxiety, nerves, and self consciousness. I am, and
You
I'm
will be
not.
judged, Jackie, by everyone.
Exactly. That is always going on in my head. I was really really nervous about the book. So I had my friends, my
Mhm.
comrades, and it's Dr. Sharice Burden-Stelly, Dr. Sharon Gransby Sabukwe, um, Dr. Roan Frazier, um, get together and read my book, and George Varongos, who is a good friend from many for many years, me and Abdus. And so they read it, they edit, they give me their input.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, they ask, I think it was either Sharice or Sharon who asked, Jackie, what college did you graduate from? And I was like, huh? I ain't graduated from nobody. I was like, I graduated from 2 years at University of Maryland University College, and I ain't never
And
go
I had
back.
to get a job. Then I had to get a job.
I graduated to work. That's what I did. And they were just like, what? You're good. I was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but yeah, but like when I get up in the morning, there's always some doom thing it's always something I've done is going to fail.
Oh,
And
no.
yeah, that is
don't do that to yourself. I'm the exact opposite.
Thank my childhood.
I'm like, somebody is going to try to fuck up something I've done. But I have not failed. Somebody else is going to try to help me fail, but I am not.
You went to all these other doctors and ain't come to the ear doctor. Listen, Jackie, there's nothing you can't do. You know what I'm saying?
Were you going to read her whole manuscript, B? Were you really going to read that? Were you going to read her book for her?
No, I'm just talking about encouragement.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
That's
reading.
True. That's true.
Come on, you know I'm not reading.
You don't read, beloved.
Going to read. He ain't gonna read.
But I know Jackie's spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Aww.
And I know that she could get it done. And I know that she's just feeling this way just because she's used to it. But listen, this is a new era, Jackie. You got to stand on business. And that's what you need to do because you put in the work. And that's all you need to know.
Look at you, doctor, encouraging me. Look at that.
Come to a real doctor.
Okay. Not that.
But anyway, I brought that up. Mm-hmm. I brought that up to make the point that is why I don't criticize anybody's college, because I ain't been in nobody's college too.
Oh.
So I have nothing to compare, like, other than a purely political analysis, like understanding that the administration of Howard University is fucking the students over. Anytime the what is it? The president of the university makes $1 million, but there's no money for decent dorms for the students to stay in, or there's no money for student dorms at all. Like that kind of analysis.
For the president's house. Yeah.
That kind of analysis I can do, but I have never had that college experience. So, and I feel like I kind of miss that, but I think that's the only thing that but so that's why I don't criticize people's college experience there, because number one, I don't know nothing about it, and I know I won't never there. And I don't have I have no frame of reference for that.
Well, I've never stayed at a dorm or whatever. I mean, I've been in, some college women's dorms, but that's another discussion. But I've never lived on college. So I don't have that experience, but I love to talk about other people's schools. I talk about the school I went to. I feel no loyalty to any of these schools. For people who come up with their banners and they went to this and they went to that, it's like, I don't care. You getting any money out of that? That's right, CUNY. I did undergrad and grad at CUNY, and then I went to Fordham Law School. And they all sucked.
I wish y'all could have had the Morris Brown experience, man. Y'all would be talking about college so much differently.
The party experience?
All that.
I'm feeling like
experience?
All that, the cultural experience, the party experience, the education, it was all there. I mean, I
know a lot of people from Morris Brown, they take the Morris. When they do their resumes, they take that Morris off or something.
Just say Brown.
Yeah, they say Brown. So people are like, Brown University?
Hey, if they don't ask, you know what I'm saying? If they don't ask, you gotta
Hey,
go
look,
with it.
I'm not mad.
Hell yeah.
Get over in this system however you can. I'm not mad. I'm not
True.
even mad.
And the professors at our college understood that. They understood that. Listen, we gotta get y'all out of here so y'all can get in this world and make shit happen. So they wasn't like, we're gonna really quiz you and make you. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they ain't
We're not going to
educators,
really test you. We're not going to make
but
sure you
but
understand
if
what
you
we're
like, if
teaching.
you got an arts degree,
Everybody gets a B plus.
yes, if you got an arts
You were
degree,
A.
come
You were
on,
A.
man.
You were
There you
you. You
go.
just showed up today. It's the last day of the semester. You're getting an A.
Hey, listen, my last year, I opened up the pizza place and I was doing college. So I was not sleeping and I was coming in class sleeping,
You
but I
had
still
3
got my work
jobs
done.
then. You had 3 jobs.
Bro, I ain't never stopped working.
Mm.
And I was throwing parties. Stop playing.
Oh, 4 jobs.
Come on,
Parties,
man.
pizza.
I'm out of here. Don't even.
drugs. Oh, my bad.
And see, I wanted him to. You got to come back, ear doctor,
back.
because I
I'm
got to
sorry.
ask
I'm
about
sorry.
the thumbnail. We got to talk about the thumbnail.
Oh, yeah.
What is the thumbnail about?
The winner is. So, it just seems like every time a black sister do a sex scene with an old white man, they get an award. I'm just saying. So I guess y'all didn't see.
I do believe the Holly Berry. I mean, it's been a long time. Monsters Ball.
Monsters
Actually,
Ball.
Diddy was in Monsters Ball.
Yes, he was.
It was one of the worst movies I ever saw.
Yes.
It's impossible for me to believe that movie won the award. And I like Holly Berry in general, whatever. But I was just like, I watched that where I was like, this is not well acted.
No.
I don't know who edited this. The sex scene's atrocious. The storyline is
the worst,
bigoted as I've ever seen in my fucking life. That her savior is like her. If I remember,
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, her son dies, and she fucks and falls in love with a racist who throws up after sex with her, and that makes her life better.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens to Tiana Taylor in this movie?
What movie is this?
One Battle.
Oh, I ain't watching that shit. I don't know.
No, what I'm saying. What
all I needed to hear was everybody saying it ain't shit. And I'm like, you know what? I trust you this time. I ain't gonna do it.
She had sex with Sean Penn.
Oh God.
That's what I'm saying.
Not as explicitly as they did the Halle Berry one, luckily though. The Halle Berry thing was off the chain. But I did see One Battle after another.
I'm just like, yo, is that the standard to get an award?
Yeah.
Nowadays?
Yeah. It is, yeah. No, I mean, but so who? What's her name? Didn't she win an Oscar? I thought there was a couple of sisters winning.
Dorothy
Dandridge. I'm talking about this generation.
No, I'm talking about. I thought she got an award for playing Dorothy Dandridge also.
No.
Halle Berry. No.
Yeah.
Well.
No. What's the one that played like she wrote Murder She Wrote or Murder or something or?
The white lady?
Black woman. No, not Murder She Wrote. No, not Angela. No. Oh my God. No. No, she was in a TV series and there was something about murder.
That's her.
Oh,
that's Oprah Winfrey, isn't it? Oprah Winfrey.
Oh my God, you're blind.
Oprah Winfrey, damn it.
That's How to Get Away with Murder.
That is not Viola.
That's Viola Davis.
Yeah, you're talking about Viola Davis.
That's Viola Davis right there from that crying when she's crying in that Nun movie.
Show it one more time.
Oh, no.
One more. That is Viola Davis.
Oh my God.
What is her name? What is
your vision starts leaving at a certain age too. Golly.
No, How to Get Away with Murder is Viola Davis.
Yes.
Viola Davis is the.
Did she win an Oscar? That's my question.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
That was really my question. I was asking if she won an Oscar.
If she did, because of that movie where she was just crying.
She won an Oscar for that? Oh. The one
it was a Nun movie when they was abusing her child. I forget what the name of that movie was. But anyway.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. But this.
Y'all telling me, look at put that picture one more time with the snotty nose. Just one more time.
God, you are so blind.
Did we not show the more snot?
That looks like Oprah to me for some reason.
It does, but
it does.
But no, I don't but can we stop paying attention to whether black
She won for Doubt. That's what the
Art.
name of the movie was.
Okay.
Doubt.
Doubt?
okay.
Yeah, that was the one with the nuns.
Oh, the one about the nuns. Oh,
Didn't I just say all this? Are y'all listening? See, you're
No.
doing what I do to. No, let me not say that.
no. I just like the sound. No, I just like the sound of your voice.
That's reverse discrimination.
No, I just really like the sound of your voice. I don't listen to the words. I just
That's reverse
Keep
discrimination,
talking.
Jackie.
Just keep talking, sweetie. Just keep talking.
just say anything, honey. Just say
Yo,
anything.
we supposed to have a quick break, man. The time we got our hip hop theory break. I know we didn't get to enough news yet because y'all just chatting about everything. So we gonna.
We had to explain the thumbnail, don't you
Yeah,
think?
you're right. You're right. So that's what the thumbnail is about, and yeah. So we got that thumbnail, and then for tomorrow we'll be talking some more about the boycott with the World Cup. So stick around for all. Well, I don't know if they're gonna talk about it. Hopefully they do. I just make these thumbnails, y'all. That's all I do. Let's take a quick.
Based on any other news besides sports and entertainment.
Thursdays and Fridays are always sports and entertainment.
Oh, that's a theme of yours. I didn't know.
Yes,
I did not realize that.
yes.
Okay.
You got international, national, and then you got sports. I mean, entertainment and sports. Monday, it's a new day, so we gotta figure something out.
Oh, so there's a battle in the chat around what she won for.
About what?
She won an Oscar either for Doubt or for Fences.
Now, Fences was a really good play and a good movie.
I couldn't watch the movie. I still tried. It's just too much acting.
There's too much acting.
What in the world is that?
Car crashes.
I need some more. What the hell is going on with my setup over here? God,
you know what? Enough car crashes.
Let me take a quick break, and we're gonna come back and get this show together right here on the Remix Morning Show. Oh my goodness, over here working hard. Minister Server, what's good? It's hip hopstery time.
Peace and much love, good people. What's up, Air Doctor? What up, Jackie? What up, Kamal? K. You know, Kamal's so funny, man. I can't believe that he was talking about that was Oprah Winfrey. It's like Kamal. and that scene was from the movie Fences. That crime
that
scene
one, right? Oh yeah,
that's from Fences. That's when she was talking to Denzel about when he had a baby by another woman, all that kind of stuff. But Kamal is that's our resident cultural specialist right there.
All right, let's get to it. Hip hopstery. Who are we talking about?
Yes, hip hop. We are talking about our homegirl today, the one and only Dana Elaine Owens, known to y'all as Queen Latifah. Yes. Listen, I gotta admit, y'all, I am a huge fan of Queen Latifah. She's the one hip hop artist who I have not yet actually met, and I have people that. I could have made it happen, but I tell people I love to meet people organically as opposed to somebody introducing me. But Queen Latifah, man, we loved her from the very first time I heard Queen Latifah. I heard Wrath of My Madness right down here in Atlanta on Georgia Tech radio station, WREK, and I heard Wrath of My Madness. And mind you, there were other female rappers before Queen Latifah, but her voice, it was something about the voice of Queen Latifah that captured me for immediately. Then when I found out she was from Jersey, it all made sense. So she dropped, the album, her first album, All Hail the Queen, and set a whole nother standard for women in hip hop. That's the album right there, All Hail the Queen. That picture, when you look at Queen Latifah in that picture, the boldness, she was in charge of what's called the Flavor Unit, where her and her partner, Shakim, had a company called Flavor Unit. So not only was she an artist from the door, she was putting other people on. So she, like I said, she dropped the album Nature of a Sister was the next album, which came out in 1991. Then she dropped Black Rain. Now, Black Rain had a song, UNITY, which she won a Grammy in 1994. She won a Grammy for rap solo. She also had a couple more albums, Order in the Court, Traveling Light, Persona. But a lot of people know Queen Latifah for her TV acting. A lot of people don't even know that she rapped, but she's prolific in rapping. They know her for Living Single. and Khadijah. They know her for, some of the work that she's done. She's done so much work in acting. Like I said, some people, particularly younger people, they may not know the prolific rap career that she had. So she's won a Golden Globe Award. She's won a Grammy. She's won an Emmy. Queen Latifah is truly prolific. She starred in the movie Set It Off with iconic character Cleo. You know what I'm saying? So Queen Latifah's done a number of different things. She is a true personification of hip hop beyond just rap music. She showed that in the culture itself, you can start at one level and have a vision of where you want to go and, believing that it's going to work out. She's also, when people talk about female rappers and roles and images, she's always put up as, be more like Queen Latifah. A lot of the artists that, don't want to go the sexy, trying to use their body. Queen Latifah is the feminist icon, who does that. So she's done a lot of great things on Broadway, acting. She started, most recently she starred in the TV show Equalizer. And I never watched that, to be honest. I don't really do talk shows like that. You know what I'm saying? But big up to our homegirl, Queen Latifah. Yes. She is a true and living example of what hip-hopstery looks like. Word.
All right, word with that. Also, the jazz album. We can't even forget about that.
The jazz album, that was called Traveling Light. That was the jazz album. And she had another album after that called Persona. So she's done a number of different things, man. Big up to the queen. She's truly the queen, and the way she carries herself in the whole nine has always been queen-like. So big up to Queen Latifah. Salute.
All right, hip hopstery right here with Minister Server. Let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Mellow Latifah was kicking flavors. The Ari Bossy said, yo, Latifah, we can do this. So I paused and took a thought, then my brilliance I caught, and I agreed, because I already knew this.
All right. Come on. Jackie,
what's going on?
Jackie, can I say one thing?
MC Light is better.
No, you can't say it. No,
MC Light is better.
Of course you can.
About one thing about your book, you should book an appointment with the ear doctor. I think the ear doctor will give you that energy that you need. Because at the end of the day, one of the greatest lessons that I ever learned, what other people think about me is none of my business. People are going to think whatever they want to think. Focus on you. We need your light. I'm looking forward to reading your book. We already know it's going to be dope. We already know how you get down, Jackie. Luke mine, so salute. It's already done. If I can put my Minister Server hat on very quickly, Jesus said, pray, believing that it's already done. Looking for the manifestation. That's all.
That's right.
Oh,
okay.
Right. I like that. Can I get back to it now?
All right. Thank you, Minister Server.
Like way better.
Cultural specialist, take it from here.
Thank you so much. Can I take his place as the hip hop bridge builder? The person comes on and does the little segment on hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Queen Latifah was never all that. Let me just start there.
It'd be a popsicle bridge.
Thank you, thank you, Ear Doctor. We right here with that, Ear Doctor. We right here.
Thank you, sir, for coming through hip hopstery, y'all.
You know what I'm saying?
Black Jesus could not help him. They know that's not you. Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Never say nothing bad about Queen Latifah.
You would not. You would not. Not about the Queen. Sorry. Yeah, she do cop stuff.
Well, bring him back up for 5 seconds. Minister Server. What? I can't have a hip hop discussion, a knowledgeable hip hop discussion.
Break it down, brother.
I mean, who else would be here for this?
Break it down, brother.
You know what I'm saying? I think we are the hip hop.
You are stalling trying to figure out a damn question. Ask the question.
I already got the question. I got the question and the answer. You know what I'm saying? Because it's serious.
I'm just here.
Beat the average
watching
dancer.
This train
okay, give me some coffee.
No, don't get you no coffee. You got to stay for this too. So don't y'all think Queen Latifah? I mean, she went pop real fast, right? She got that one album, right? She was the queen with the crown, and then all of a sudden, boom! Here come the perm. No more politics. All about making that money. You know what I'm saying? She never kind of stuck to those roots of what I would consider to be the political, cultural, hip hop thing that she was on. And again, I don't know her personally, so I think people put up all this hype about who she should have been or could. Can you take that look off your face?
You know what year UNITY came out, and that was talking.
UNITY.
Was talking about Black unity.
1994.
People coming together, moving forward.
20-something years ago. What's the next song? What's the last one she did?
You said from the first album she went what?
Okay, second album she had UNITY.
Third,
but she went perm. She permed it out and did movies. Never did nothing pro-black again.
If I could add to that, I think what Kamal said is true to a certain degree, but that was never like she was never political. You know, she was more cultural. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Separated.
You know, right.
The most important thing he said was what I said was true.
That's all he was looking for.
That's all I heard. That's all I heard. I didn't even hear a certain degree. All I heard was true.
See, I'm trying to tell you, Jackie. I mean, listen. I was trying to tell you that earlier.
That's not a hereditary thing. That is him inside his head.
Even like early on, she stopped wearing the crowns because she didn't want to get boxed into with the image of what somebody thought. You know, she was a rapper, singer, actress. If you listen to her first album, all the singing that she did on that, you know, she was like a precursor to Lauryn Hill. So she was not really political. She was just mad creative. Go back and listen to her first two albums and listen to all the singing. They just wasn't promoting her as a singer as much as a rapper. But Queen Latifah is, you know, so she was never. So Kamal, don't try to put it in any box that you think she's in, because what you think about Queen Latifah is none of her business.
Yeah, because probably Queen Latifah shows up to her shows.
Don't you say nothing bad about Queen Latifah ever.
Well, yeah, she definitely is in Lauryn Hill because she shows up to her shit on time.
Oh,
so,
pow.
What's the shots at Lauryn? Oh my goodness.
Listen.
Oh, it is true though, Jackie. You are telling the truth. You are telling the truth.
Listen.
And we got to stand on truth.
I don't slander.
All right, we done with all the slander?
I guess.
Peace and love.
Appreciate
love.
Appreciate I was about to go too. I was like, the show's over. Everybody's leaving. Okay, bye.
Yeah, go ahead and do some news, please.
Holla. Okay, I do have a story up real quick.
Nice.
So I wanted to, because this is making big news again, and this is about Donald Trump's, again, insistence that he's about to take over Greenland. So as folks know, the imperial presidency extends not only to domestic violence, but what we've seen in Palestine, what we've just seen in Venezuela, and then his European allies are in a big fight because it says what we know about the framework of the future deal over Greenland. It says U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that there is a framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland. The statement came as a surprise after days of mounting tensions, culminating with a threat to impose economic sanctions on 8 close U.S. allies, which have opposed his plans to seize the semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. So what could this deal entail, and will it be acceptable to Denmark and Greenland, both of which have made it clear they will not relinquish sovereignty over the world's largest island in the Arctic. What has been said about the framework? President Trump made the announcement on his Truth Social. And basically the framework is, let's get to the framework. It says, the view in Denmark is that the issue is far from over, blah, blah, blah. I think the framework is that they're saying to have sovereignty over, here it is. Okay, I don't know why they take so long for this. The Danish and Greenlandic reiteration that sovereignty is non-negotiable appears to be aimed at rejecting reports in the New York Times, where anonymous officials said one idea under discussion was for Denmark to cede sovereignty over small areas of Greenland where the U.S. would build military bases. This arrangement would be similar to the status of 2 military bases in Cyprus, which are controlled by the United Kingdom. And so they are denying this, but Trump seems to be suggesting that a deal is on the table where certain areas of Greenland are constituted as U.S. territory as opposed to either being rented by the United States, or sometimes foreign countries do buy land in other places. But they're talking not just the buying of land, but sovereignty, which means that they would have no, they would not be subject to whatever the so-called local laws are and or national laws. And so what's interesting for me in this interplay is how Europe is capitulating to Donald Trump's demands, how as opposed to Europe, which apparently in their estimation, so much needs their daddy that they will not break away. Even, it's one thing that he's killing Black and brown folks or Latino folks for Europe. They have nothing to say about that. That's fine. But they are, and some are standing up and at least rhetorically saying some things. But in the background, there's basically private negotiation because apparently they don't want to lose U.S. bases. And what gives them a certain amount of power in the world is the protection of U.S. military, right? So all this is going on. Jackie, what's your thoughts on it?
I say let the whites fight. Let them fight. I mean, I don't mean to be so flippant because, you know, this is like we are tiptoeing around, you know, stepping on the switch to start World War III. And I keep saying, and I have been saying for a long time, the only reason we are not in the middle of kinetic World War III is because of the restraint of other countries, literally. And that's for years, that's for decades. um I wish I could say that the Europeans will stand up to this man, but he's like them. The only thing they don't like about him is that he has no decorum.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That really is it. What he is doing, they have no problem with what he is doing. They don't they really do all of the just like they didn't care what Biden was doing. Right? So they didn't care that the previous American government, the previous American president, funded and armed a genocide in Palestine and brutally repressed protesters against the government doing that in this country. They saw that. They saw Biden do that. They saw Biden and Harris do that. They saw Harris and Waltz promise that they keep doing it and that they keep arming, you know, the and funding the police even more to continue to repress us, and continuing to uphold sanctions against socialist revolutionary countries to soften them up for regime change so the US government could take their resources and help all those people in those countries who die from starvation and lack of medication because of those things. The Europeans seen every US president do all of these things for decades, and they're fine with it. So they are not upset at what Trump is doing in this country. They're not upset at what he's doing with this so-called peace. What is it? What is the thing called, Kamal? The peace thing in Gaza.
I have to look it up. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
They're fine with that. Yeah. They are fine with that. And even this insistent focus on taking over Greenland. Do y'all know they've been talking about this for years? Netanyahu and them have been talking about wanting Greenland so this is not new. It's new to us because we're not in these conversations with these people. We're not in the rooms they're in. We don't. So this isn't even a surprise to them. They were just kind of hoping that it was just talk. Now they're having to finally deal with the fact that, oh, wait, one of these Americans, he's actually going to try to do it. Mm-hmm. And because they entertain this bullshit all this time, now they're having to deal with, okay, how do we stop this now?
Mm-hmm. The problems when the Europeans go to war is that they just don't keep it amongst themselves.
Right.
Like they like their wars, total destruction of the planet type of wars. But I agree. There's no sense to me that Europe is really going to stand up. And again, I agree. This fight is not a bad fight for the rest of the world. If NATO breaks up because of this fight, or nearly breaks up, or these so-called European allies see that the new America really doesn't want to be connected to any restraint whatsoever. So again, this version of Pax Americana is more about how America leads or does what it wants to do without any restraint whatsoever, which is why he's constantly said he doesn't care about international law, or international law doesn't concern him. What he wants is a free reign to say, I'm going to grab this and I'm going to grab that, and you can't stop me, right? So you really do have an imperial-minded presidency, whatever mind he has left, which is meant to grab as many resources as possible. And unless you can capitulate again, then you are seen at that particular moment as an enemy of the United States. And so again, you always, at least in I did like to see at least the economic deal, and maybe it'll show some strength politically that China just made with Canada. Again, not because I think Canada is breaking away from complete
Right.
U.S. orbit, but the fact that Canada will have economic relationships with China, which will mean that they won't be on board or it's reestablished and furthering economic means that they won't be on board completely when the U.S. again asks them to kidnap a citizen of China or business leader of China, as they did a few years ago, right? So I'm hoping that some of these things are tearing apart. And again, I think Europe is worried because when we look at Ukraine, the reason Ukraine happened was because America gave its assurance, right, with its European allies that this attempt to make Ukraine part of NATO and to put nuclear weapons and military bases closer to the Russian border has now somewhat fallen apart because of the United States backing off or backing away from its so-called commitments to Ukraine in order to settle this. And in the estimation of the current regime is that they want to do this to pull Russia away from China, which is not going to happen, right? But in their mind, hopefully it will not happen. I mean, not to say it like it's absolute, but what their white supremacy thinking is that they were already sacrificing Ukraine because there was no reason for Ukraine to agree to this deal except to sacrifice its citizens. But they're willing to even sacrifice it further in their white supremacist mind if they can get Russia on their side as they battle China, right? So that's their background thinking on this. So I think this whole stew, I think is interesting to see how the United States is pulling away. Not only has it already pulled away from its commitments to the United Nations, which again, I don't think is a bad thing. It's already pulled and is pulling away from its complete connection to NATO and NATO allies. And then we'll see what that means for sort of like the how destabilizing this is and how this again potentially allows space for other nation states to get out from the U.S. or out from the Western orbit. And I think that this part is needed in terms of if there's going to be some uprise again in liberatory behavior or action or revolutionary warfare, it is because the United States is weakened and doesn't have the allies that it's had in the past.
Mm-hmm. And I admit that I don't understand a whole lot of the statescraft and I don't know a lot about the history of Denmark and Greenland and I know there are connections to World War II and there's all of that but I do learn a lot. I actually do learn quite a lot from other people writing about these things in publications like Black Agenda Report. This is why you really should subscribe to, support, and read Black Agenda Report. This edition was just out yesterday, and this is an article written by Margaret Kimberly, the executive editor and senior columnist, where she says it's racist, imperialist U.S. vassal Denmark now cries over Greenland. And this is, again, I don't know a whole lot about Greenland. Didn't know that there were Somali immigrants in Denmark. That's very interesting. So in this article, Margaret points out that Donald Trump and other U.S. presidents are gangsters who will sometimes steal from their own crew. The Greenland heist is but the latest example, as the Denmark colonizers cry that they were robbed after assisting the head criminal in charge. And this goes into a court in Denmark has ordered the government to compensate 18 civilians who were tortured during the Iraq War in an operation carried out by Iraqi security forces along with a Danish battalion. She goes on to explain the connections between this Greenland bid and Russia and China, where Trump is claiming that Russia and China will snatch Greenland if the U.S. doesn't, despite the fact that neither country has shown interest. Russia and China don't want Greenland. Trump wants Greenland because billionaires want it. Two During the first Trump administration in 2018, a prominent businessman, Ronald Lauder, he knew had suggested that the U.S. buy Greenland. This was in 2018. Lauder is not alone in coveting that enormous Arctic island. Tech billionaires, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and others want to use Greenland as a source of rare earth minerals and as the site for dystopian freedom cities, which would operate outside of law and regulation. So I'm going to drop this in the chat for y'all to read. It's a fantastic article. And I want you to also take a look at all of the other articles in Black Agenda Report. I've written an article also about effective organizing. Tired of having this conversation about reading and why organizing is necessary and why you need to learn. Why you need to learn theory? Because you need to understand why presidents want to fucking colonize Greenland. all of what Margaret is talking about in that article, the history that's what we need to know to understand why this is happening.
And I'm glad she also centered the tech giants who, like she stated, they want to mine for things in Greenland, right? So part of this is there a economic / capitalist interest in basically destroying or gutting Greenland because they think they may have minerals, rare earth materials that they want, or they can put city. And these rich people are always experimenting with them having total control over large populations. That's the thing that they want. They want total control over large populations. So these ideas around cities in Greenland, putting colonies on the moon, these rich people really love to believe that somehow, again, because they got rich in one area, that they now have some insight into how society should function. And usually that insight tells them that they should be completely in charge to create the type of human being, not like the new human beings that folks used to talk about in the 60s and 70s. Shay talked about it, Grace Lee Boggs talked about it, other people talked about how the advancement of humans meant more caring, more sharing, more collectivity, moving away from capitalist interests. These fools, these billionaires, and these white supremacists, they're all concerned about making people more into drones, more followers, that to be controlled by a few without any insight or impetus on their own. And so these things, some of the stuff that she's writing about, they really demonstrate like how that stuff works, right? So these imperial ventures, not only for these countries grabbing resources, but also these small-minded people thinking that they somehow have the solution to society or humanity when they're the ones causing the great the issues in the first damn place.
Yeah, and this idea, what you're just talking about the tech billionaires always experimenting and thinking that they've got all the answers for humanity and willing to, eat up and destroy the planet and the environment to just to test their anti-human theories, because all of their ideas are not about supporting, taking care of, or advancing human progress for the benefit of humanity. It's all about using every natural resource to find new ways for them to get richer. That's it. It's not to benefit anybody other than them and their class, and everybody and everything else can die. In the commission, we've already been deeply indoctrinated to accept that, and we don't realize it. Did anybody watch a particular FX series that came out, I think it was last year or year before, called A Murder at the End of the World? That series is about exactly what we just talked about. A tech billionaire who builds this colony out in the middle of nowhere in some Arctic location in the middle of these snowy mountains. And he's literally building a post-apocalyptic society with drones. And he's invited all of his ultra rich friends up there to solve the problem of survival after the collapse of human society, and a murder takes place. Right. So it's a murder mystery, but it is wrapped in this idea that is not just something that some Hollywood producer thought up in his head. This idea of tech billionaires creating these isolated survival cities in the Arctic. No, this is this is really a part of their plan. And we don't realize that we have actually seen that plan, and we've actually already been indoctrinated to accept, yeah, that's just what they're going to do, because it's been presented to us in these very popular kind of pop culture kind of ways that Erica talks about this all the time.
And some of these plans are already underfoot. The United States is an experiment in how rich people get to run nation states, or people who live in nation states, right? And think how that's gone for working class and poor people, for Black folks, for brown folks, for indigenous folks, for Asian folks. Think how that's gone for folks, right? When rich people begin to set the agenda for how life should be lived, and then who should have the economic resources or benefits from natural resources. So we already live in that kind of society, and they just want to continue to concentrate that even more, right? And again, going back to the thing that you brought up earlier, the Board of Peace is the name of the new so-called leadership body, right? The overseers of Gaza. And Trump just signed, looking like an idiot, of course. Trump launches Board of Peace with signing ceremony in Davos. Says U.S. President Donald Trump has launched his so-called Board of Peace, a body for resolving international conflicts with a $1 billion price tag for permanent membership. The board, which originally conceived to oversee the rebounding of Gaza, but a draft of the charter does not appear to limit its role to Palestinian territory. Says a U.S. senior official said on Wednesday that about 35 world leaders have so far committed to joining the Board of Peace out of the 50 who've been sent invitations so far. Though these include Middle East allies such as Israel, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Jordan, Qatar, Egypt, NATO members Turkey, Hungary, whose nationalist leaders have cultivated good personal ties with Trump. And then they list several other nations that have also agreed to be part of this so-called Board of Peace, which, again, part of its original or part of what it is attempting to do is to basically remake or govern Gaza, strip it further of any sovereignty or any indigenous leadership, and make it something that is collectively owned by international partners, but controlled directly by Israel in terms of on-the-ground troops. The fact that Saudi Arabia, again, Jordan, these nation states, whose governments have shown themselves to be sellouts, now Egypt also, to not only to their own people, but again to the Palestinian cause. So this Board of Peace, again, is not even limiting itself to saying that they're just going to take over Gaza, but is now setting itself up to do what? Probably to say that it's going to rule over other so-called conflict areas. That means places in Africa.
That's right.
Conflicts that they start, that they then will say, we need to control the Congo. We need to control Rwanda. We need to control this place and that place. That is what this is being set up to do. And in some ways, if you think about it really deeply, because of the antagonism the U.S. has shown to the United Nations, even though it controls a great deal of what happens in the direction of the United Nations, in some ways, this so-called Board of Peace, which is basically a board of war on the world, is another way in which it is trying to sidestep or derail the idea of a United Nations. Again, even though the United Nations is controlled by Western interests, it is trying to sidestep the idea of a United Nations with a more alliedship group of nations, which will have the military and economic power potentially, right, to take over more territories, damage more people, take over more resources, murder hundreds of thousands, if not millions in the process, And that's what this thing is being set up to do.
Mm-hmm. And funny, Kamau, tell me if I'm off the mark here, but I'm kind of feeling like all the talk about, the US has propped up NATO, we're leaving NATO, where the US has pulled out all of these out of all of these international organizations. That's already happened. He did that. Like 60 something international organizations that he pulled the US out of. This sounds to me like the alternate NATO. This sounds to me like Trump no. I don't know what else to call it, but but if because I'm thinking about it, everything about Trump's administration, both of them, has been about him profiting, him and his friends profiting, and he is doing things that they have been talking about doing for years. That's why he had to be president again. Right? So he was pissed off at NATO before, wanted to get rid of NATO before. Now he's back, and look at what he's doing. He's trying to dismantle NATO. But I don't think anybody ever thought, well, what would he replace NATO with? Because it has to be something that he puts his name on. And that's what this is.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. This is in some ways a replacement. Remember, for all of the ways in which Europe does succumb to U.S. interests, Europe also has some sovereignty in terms, and some political parties in some levels. Again, I won't call it necessarily a deep democracy, but democracy as in Trump's people won't always win, even as they're trying to push more right-wing governments into Europe, right? So Europe is compliant, but maybe not as compliant as some of these overt dictatorships like Saudi Arabia, which survives off of some U.S. trade and resources. Egypt, certainly the second biggest receiver of U.S. so-called aid, basically money to keep it quiet and to shut up and for the military to take into hoard. Jordan and all the rest of these nations, which really just want to cut economic deals, right? And so they're more than willing to cut deals completely on Trump's terms, right? I could see them giving resources and land to Trump, as they are now. Like Kushner, like his son-in-law, is all over the Middle East cutting deals, right? People are cutting deals all over the place in the so-called Middle East as they stand up and protect Israel at the same time. So you're right. This is a way of really making sure that they cut through all the things that they don't want to deal with, which is a world stage where over 190 nations may have some say, right? May not legitimize. This border peace will legitimize all U.S. actions. It will legitimize all Israeli actions. And so they're basically making this group something that will be a replacement both for NATO and in some ways, if 50 nations, if they get 50 nations to sign on, that is basically 1/4 of the world in terms of signing on. Again, and another way to isolate countries like China. So, this is a plan of action. Like you said, either the what they call it, the Dunroe Doctrine. It's not only a plan of action for what's going to happen in Latin America or South America. This is a worldwide plan of action that these white supremacist right-wing forces are trying to enact.
Yeah, and I don't know what else to like. Do people understand more clearly now why we harp on organizations so much? Because what we're seeing these leaders do, that is a result of organization. Like what Kamau just described, you got Trump in Washington doing what he's doing with executive orders and making these, because he is not writing those things. Other people are writing those things. And he is putting his weird signature on those written things, right? But while he's doing that, while he is in Washington or wherever he is in Florida, making the headlines that make us cringe, you've got ICE in the streets doing what they're doing, so now we're focused on ICE and we're not paying attention to what Jared Kushner and other members of the Trump administration are doing around the world. While we're fighting for our lives in the streets here, they're running around the world ginning up support for, that's organization. That is the organization. So you see how the ruling class, sorry, Kimathi is over here eating his foot, and I don't know why, but that's what that weird noise is. But like the ruling class is always working. They're always networking. They're always advancing their ideas. They're always running around talking to each other. They're always having meetings and sending white papers on their idea. They're all of the time. Like I don't think we understand that we focus so much on Project 2025. And people didn't understand that Project 2025 is like, it's the, what was it, the 20th of those plans?
I was going to say, wait a minute. You mean the wealthy are not saying that they can't belong to organizations and apparatuses because they're individuals and they don't want their individual sovereignty stepped on? They're not taking wellness retreats and sort of, let's just check out, or let's just be me, and
this isn't our fight.
This isn't my fight. Like, you know what I mean? I need a respite. I worked so hard the last 6 weeks. I went to like 4 rallies. Ooh, I need a break. I need some sunshine. They're not doing that stuff. They're actually continuing to fight. They're not, you know, they're not leaving to go to other places to like escape or whatever. They're like, oh no, we own all the places, so there's no reason for us to go anywhere. So do you mean they're continuing to fight? They continue to organize and to plan? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, I look at this period of time, even with the absolute terror, and I want to be clear, I am not dismissing the terror that is being unleashed on people. That it absolutely is. But what is also happening is every contradiction being completely laid bare, every issue that we raised, everything that we told people. We told you these people are always organizing. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. If this were a democracy, you couldn't create this much chaos if this country were actually a democracy and the laws actually provided the so-called checks and balances that they claim they did. And am I wrong in that, Kamal? I mean, if these structures actually did what they claim they were implemented to do all this time, would we have been seeing law enforcement, so-called law enforcement, doing the things that they're doing that are clearly outside of so-called established settled law? Like I don't know how else to explain that.
No, I mean, if we democracy, where is Congress? Like over this, what is it, Board of Peace? Did Congress give some sort of congressional okay for the United States to create another international body? Where's the, you know, people talk about, I said this at one of these speeches or whatever, if somebody can sign an executive order and take away your rights, then you never had any rights in the first damn place, right? So it's at somebody's whim. You don't have a system with checks and balances. You have a system that when it was in its interest, it thought to extend to a certain class of the oppressed entree in a certain level into the club, because it thought at that time, you know what, we can use you to control the rest of them, right? Because you're going to get out here and talk about how great it is to be amongst them, and that if only everybody else pulled themselves up by the bootstrap or did what we did the right thing or found a job or knew about how to save, if they knew about financial literacy, that you too could join this class of people, right? It's on you. The system works great. When they thought that was necessary and that would help them sustain their system, they did that. And at some point when they had competing interests that said, you know what, the whites are really getting mad at us. We want the whites more than we need these other folks or whatever. So they went backwards on their so-called rights giving to you, right? And remember, these whites are the ones who gave you your so-called rights, right? That's what you believed. They decided to say, you know what? We were just joking. What did Trump say about the civil rights movement just now? It hurt a lot.
When the civil rights laws were passed, it hurt a lot of white people.
What is he letting you know?
I mean, okay, emotionally, I'm sure it did.
And that's all it took. That's all it took. No more neoliberal regimes, no more again covert white supremacy. It's like, let's just take that off now. And that's the world that we're living in, because we don't exert or attempt to create organizations and institutions that have power, that can fight for power, that can create things that we can control, that can convince people, which is probably the biggest thing we have to do, is convince a multitude of people, particularly our people, that there are other roads that we can travel down, and there's other ways that we can control our destiny and fight for our self-determination. And even in losing sometimes in those struggles, it is better to lose in those struggles than not to struggle at all, right? Because then you yourself are capitulating. So it's clear that this enemy of people, of Black people, has reasserted this, or again, been a useful idiot, I should say, for an undercurring ideological development of the reoccurrence of an overt white supremacy that supports capitalism, but a capitalism that is in some ways, I think part of the internal fight is that they want a capitalism that is more submissive or meets the needs of white working class, and these are the ideologues, versus the capitalists who will be white supremacists or whatever they need, as long as it makes their money, right? And so when it was time for DEI, they were all down with the DEI because that's how they thought they can make their money. When they put their finger in the ear and the wind blows another way, and it's like, we don't need that DEI shit anymore.
Right.
We can make more money doing this, then we'll make more money doing that.
Yep. And I just, whew, I laugh and joke, for us traumatized people who, who who are on antidepressants and still dealing with unresolved childhood trauma and actively engaged in being very aware of what's going on in this last season of the collapse of the American empire. Joking and laughing is a coping mechanism. Because all of this, I think the thing, Kamau, that is, I don't want to say surprising, because that's not really it. I don't think I found a word that accurately describes how it really feels. Because it's not really a surprise, because the history of this country, but it's like, dang, I kind of hope that, okay, my hope was wrong. But seeing the lack of, okay, here's a good way, I think, for me to describe it. So the Peace Walk monks are hanging out down where you are in Atlanta. They're coming through Atlanta, right? And everybody, it looks like all of Atlanta is out in the streets walking with the monks and their adorable dog. Fantastic. What'd they do? They went home, just like the No Kings folks. They were excited about the monks marching for peace, to raise awareness for peace. And that's fantastic, and that's wonderful. And I watched the videos, and I love Akosha the dog. I think that's what the dog's had. Whatever anyway, they're the monk dog. And people are coming out and they're giving them flowers, and they're out, and I'm pretty sure these people ain't even Buddhist, because it's Atlanta. But but that's okay. I got no judgment. I'm happy for it. They're coming out and they're on their knees on the sidewalk, and they're with the flowers, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And you see hundreds, if not thousands, of people joining them on the march. Where they at? Same question I asked for No Kings. 1 million people out in the streets that first couple of No Kings protests. Millions. That's what they said on the news. Where they at? Where are they? and this is the thing that is upsetting, I think, is that we see people not respond to the obvious fascism, like and you can't see it and not realize, oh, this is not just him. Because when we bring up the things that he's doing and we point out, no, this is what they did before, they just didn't send out their friends in masks to do it. That's all. That's the only thing. Just to see the lack of concern that progressives and liberals have with the Democrats' complicity in getting us to this point, and seeing the way they're not responding to the Democrats basically capitulating. This is fascism. Y'all said he's a fascist, and all y'all gonna do is demand body cameras and more training. Not one police force has stepped away from these people and said, you know what? They're the problem. Arrest them. Arrest ICE. They're the problem. You know why? Because the police are in them. They're some of those masks. That's why because this is Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3%ers, Chad and Bradley Nim from up in the mountains, and the cops and the police. That's why. And then you've got the religious folks all of whom I want to punch in the mouth right now. All of them. They can all be crucified and go to hell for all I care. who like, well, Jesus wouldn't, ain't never read the book, don't know shit about Jesus, will not admit that Jesus is Palestinian, and Jesus is sitting there talking about, you ain't mine, I told you ain't mine, but you ain't read my book, so you don't know. You gonna get a surprise when you die, motherfucker. Because you are not coming up here with me. No, and in all of this chaos, there are still people. You got black folks who are talking about let ICE take the immigrants. You got black folks calling ICE on Somali and Laotian and Hmong immigrants. Talk about they taking our jobs, as if us aligning with the people doing this are going to be any nicer to us. And then when ICE come breaking down our door, we talking about, well, y'all supposed to be doing this to Arabs, not us.
Which is always the amazing thing for me, is like when black folks side with the white supremacists. I was like, why we side? I was like, wait a minute. So it's almost like you haven't had personal experiences and or read a history book, or it's like, so you think somehow the immigrants are your problem, not the cops, not the government, not the institutions that have oppressed us, that brought us here. So you're going to go on that other side. To me, that's still one of the most amazing kind of ways in which ideology works, is that the way it has trapped our folks, some of our folks, into somehow believing that when there's a struggle around immigrants and so-called illegal immigrants, that they somehow should take the side of the white folk, the white oppressor, or take the side of the institutions. I'm one of those people. I was like, the more immigrants, so-called illegal or otherwise, the better.
Yep.
The better. And I don't care always what their ideology is, because I am like, whatever decreases the amount. And that's partly what this struggle is. This is a demographic war.
Yep.
These whites want to close borders because they want to be the so-called majority population, like in terms of the upwards of 70% of the population, 80% of the population to be white, as it was for them in the good old days. They don't like seeing so many others because it makes them scared that others will do to them what they have done to those folks. So they don't like that. Which is not to say, again, to be clear, that these white supremacists have any issue whatsoever from leading or operating or controlling from the minority position. They never will have a problem with that. Let's not just think because there is a majority of somebody else and those majority vote some way against the capitalist interests or white supremacist interests, that somehow they're going to go like, oh, shucks, we lost. Here, take the power. Here, take the resources. That's childlike. These folks, like you said earlier, alluding to earlier, these folks understand that their war is continual to control the resources, land, and people, and they do it through military and through propaganda. They're clear on that. That's never changed for them. And sometimes the use of spirituality or religion to get people in. In fact, let me play this one clip that was part of our thing, the right-wing person, to show the patriarchy and how this also apparently is not something to be shunned, but something in which some
That clown.
some people apparently take seriously. So this was part of our run sheet. Let's hear this enlightened message.
Wives, submit to your husbands in everything. Everything is what the Bible teaches. And it is a sense of fear and trembling, and awe is the disposition of deference that the wife is to maintain towards her husband as she seeks to submit to him as the church submits to Christ, not only in things she agrees with, but in everything. She belongs to him. He owns her. Now, he should own her lovingly, charitably. There's lots that could be said about the manner in which a Christian man owns his house, owns his wife, owns his children, owns his possessions, his resources. We can say a lot about Christian ownership and how to do that, not lording it over those in your charge, but rather, so we can talk about that. But that doesn't take away from the primary point, which is it is still ownership. She belongs to him. In fact, you can't even break. This is quite a statement, but I think it's true. I'm going to make it. You actually can't covet a woman. You can't break the 10th commandment,
property.
10th commandment as it pertains to a woman. You really can only covet a man because the man is the one who actually has ownership.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, thank you. Because motherfuck this motherfucker. I just let me say this definitively and I understand people have whatever feelings they have about Christianity. I don't give a fuck. as a Christian, I honestly I keep telling you this, and I really mean it. I don't give a fuck how you feel about Christianity in general. Because whatever you feel about Christianity, you're probably right. Yeah, it absolutely, the lies white people have told about the faith absolutely have caused so much destruction and murder and misery in the world. Absolutely true. And this is a great example of that, of how simple, how easily they lie. And they know they're lying because the scripture he's talking about, that's not all the scripture says. That's actually the second scripture. That's not even the first scripture in that chapter, because the scripture that comes before that says, husbands and wives, submit yourselves to one another as Christ. So, and there are scriptures that come after that talk about husbands and wives loving each other, caring each other, respecting each other. And there's a scripture that comes after that says specifically, what husbands, love your wives as you love your own body, because no man has ever hated himself and loved enough. So these people, when they pick a scripture out and say, this is what the Bible says about how we're supposed to, they're lying, because that is why they only talk about one scripture. They don't talk about entire chapters. They don't talk about context, and they never talk about the historical context of the entire narrative, because the entire historical context is centered in Palestine and that region. And that absolutely matters in what those scriptures actually mean. So, yeah. But I talk about that in my book.
Oh, good. Yes. So really quickly, I just wanted to, as a non-practitioner of the religion, right? What I get from that is, again, this male patriarchy, which will use any justification, particularly this white male patriarchy, but not exclusive, because once they say it and set the tone, it sweeps over our communities and others who also want to be uplifted by patriarchy or believe that they somehow should be owning people or that they somehow should be in charge. I mean, look at that idiot, Is that the person that you think people should be submitting to completely? So for me, it's these ideological ideas that they somehow should have power and control over people, property, places, land, resources, that whether it's steeped in a system of religion or steeped in a system of economics or steeped in a system of politics, it is steeped in them and what makes up the cultural makeup. Again, I'm not one to go for the things that are innate within human beings, but the Europeans are very testing on the idea of whether or not some people innately have some biological inconsistencies that are not good for humanity. That is my gentle way of putting that. But I think we got to look at these people and see how many people go to their churches or whatever the institutions that they are, because they're capturing people with this terrible rhetoric, this basically this garbage around how they should be controlling and basically telling people that they're slaves to their will. Right. And you have no rights. The other theme of the day, you have no rights which they have to respect as a woman, as a Black person, as a Latino, as an immigrant. Their very word is law. That's the society that these folks are trying to create for us.
And the winner is.
Hey, before I know you're going to ask us what we want to do for the weekend, so I'm going to preempt and say this part real quickly, because we finally released, this is not something we're doing the weekend, but I want to get this in. We finally released the complete oral history of Jaleel Montekim, who was a former political prisoner, Black Liberation Army member of the Black Panther Party, Dartricia from Black Alliance for Peace and Community Movement Builders, who is an oral historian, put this together for us. It is on Grassroots Thinking, another space that you can go to for ideas on radical thought, revolutionary activity, debates in our community. So please check this out when you guys get a chance. It is the complete oral history as told by Jaleel to Dartricia that we now have on Grassroots Thinking. I put it into the chat for folks to grab. That's grassrootsthinking.com. So please check that out. I'm done.
Wonderful. All right. Good job. All right. Darker Than Blue, what we got coming up?
I will be talking about the article I wrote in Black Agenda Report. I'm going to be talking about organizing, and here it is. Effective organizing requires understanding theory that's not a hypothesis. So that'll be a part of the show on Friday. Is that tomorrow? Yes, that's tomorrow. Nope, I don't know what day it is.
Yo, also make sure y'all stay safe. This is supposed to be a very cold weekend, and temperatures going down. And get y'all some bottled water, but don't take it all. Leave some for other people. And also make sure y'all stay around 11 o'clock. I'll be doing lunch. Let me get this out of the way because it's all blocking. Lunch, break beats, and blends. So come back for that at 11 o'clock. Nice. And big up to all y'all. Y'all have a great one. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. for some more of the Remix Morning Show. I don't know about all these other religions, but you can always rely on Black Liberation Media. Religion, rely on.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm
you never heard that?
Nope.
You rely on something to get ahead. Religion.
Okay.
No,
the song.
You never heard that?
Can we leave?
That's crazy.
Do the song.
Read. All right. Remix Morning Show, y'all. Black Liberation Media.
Okay.
I love to hear your voice.
We out. Have a good one. That's coming out. K. Franklin, Jackie Lukeman. I'm the Air Doctor. Peace out. Have a great one. Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.